All right, we should be streaming. Good to go for day number 2 of creating a body kit for the 1997 Honda Civic, or specifically the 96 to 98 Honda Civic. This should work with the hatchback, the coupe, and the sedan. They all have the front fender that is the exact same shape, so I figured it's probably a good piece to start working on. So this car is already wide-bodied for those who are new here. This thing is wide-bodied before, but it used steel fender flares. I got it to a shape that I really liked. But say maybe one day I get in a car crash, or maybe there's someone out there that wants basically the same dimensional kit that I have, that likes the look but doesn't want to go through all that work of welding on a steel flare, kind of molding it in, and getting a respray and all that stuff. I'm going to make a product for that. So there's a lot of aftermarket Civic fenders right now on the market. I know like Jay's Racing makes them, TF Works out of Japan makes them, Duraflex has probably 100 of them out there. I'm trying to think. Problem is with a lot of these wide body flares out there that are the entire fender, a lot of times your body lines will be a little messed up. So like the line where the headlight goes will be a little screwy, the line between the panel or the over fender and the door, the fender and the door, that gap would be messed up. So I want to basically make a way that allows you to have an over fender on your car. You still have all your factory body lines, everything still looks nice, and make a kit that's not crazy obnoxious. What I've noticed is in the industry now, pretty much all kit makers are replicating like Rocket Bunny kits. They have like a signature chunky style that was, I mean, it was big. I remember it really took off when everyone got the BRZ, the FRS, and the GT86 when that first generation of them came out. And I remember everybody was getting them, and now Rocket Bunny makes kits for everything. You see them on Miatas, they got them on GTRs, the GR86. I think the GR Corolla's got it. And they all kind of follow the same design language where they almost interrupt the body lines. They kind of make their own body lines, and that would be like the Rocket Bunny style. So instead of, say, like the top of my over fender, I want it to follow this natural body line right here. Instead of something like that, they'd have the body line go, wow, and then it would come out instead of having like a flare that kind of mimics the original factory Civic flare. Their flares would actually bow out the entire fender and give it kind of a chunky, aggressive, blocky look. And those kits are usually for running like really big wheels and being really low. I want to make this kit so it works well for guys that just want to either like have a track car. You could still dump your car with this kit, obviously, and still look really good. Or for guys that want something quick to throw on before they go to the drag strip. So if you have, I see it all the time where there's all these drag Civics where they'll just slice open their fender, throw on the biggest, stickiest tires they can, but then they're sticking out like this much. And you can't really have much suspension there, and I don't know. I'm looking for something that's good, streetable, it looks good, yet it still has a function. There is some really good fender flares out there for different cars. However, there isn't really any good fender flares for the Civic. A lot of people tack on the universal flares, but those don't really line up with like this door molding right here. The front bumpers on these cars, they kind of jut out right here. And so if you do use one of those universal fender flares, where it juts out, right on top of there will be a huge gap. So today, I plan on taking this thing off the car, see how well our tuck tape release tape actually worked here. Yesterday I covered the entire widened fender with this tuck tape. It is this stuff right here. I don't know if people use it for resin now, but I think originally it was used for insulation. I think people used it to tape the insulation in between the joists in their walls. But it works really good as a release agent. Resin does not stick to this well at all, so it is perfect for making molds. I'm gonna go grab some gloves and yeah, I'll get ready to pull this off. Maybe I'll make an Instagram post too. Let everybody know I'm live. See if I get anybody in the chat. Alright, see. Day 2 of streaming has begun. Crafty Cars E2. Alright, maybe that'll help us get someone in. Last stream, or yesterday's stream, we had, I think maybe a total like 4 viewers at the same time. So let's see if we can beat that today. And there was only one comment on last stream, and it was just my wife. So hopefully we can get some more comments in there. I don't know, I've held streams in the past and I've had pretty good luck, but maybe people just so busy these days. Yesterday I streamed at 6 o'clock, and today I'm streaming at 5 o'clock. Hoping maybe there's more people out there available right now. I feel like at 6 o'clock a lot of people are probably eating dinner. So let me pull up video on my side so I can watch how many people are currently tuning in. Okay, so we got 2 people tuning in, unless one of those is me. Then we have 1 person tuning in. So feel free to say hi. Give me something to talk to. Well, I think I'm ready to start peeling this thing off here. And if there's any audio bugs or anything, please let me know so everybody else doesn't have to suffer. Might not be a bad idea to just wheel the trash can right over here. Alright, so this time around I don't want to pull off the tuck tape, I just want to pull off our fiberglass part. Oh, here we go, we got a couple comments now. Oh, Emmanuel, what's up? I'll help with the comments, I'm still at work. Audio sounds good, sweet. Well, thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm about ready to pull this fender off, so you keep working, and I'll keep working. Hopefully this thing just pops right off. It's not that complex of a shape, and it's not a negative shape. So, like, it folds in here, but it shouldn't catch on the flare itself when I pull this thing off. Maybe I'll use, like a panel tool, like a trim removal tool. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, this works. If I get this over fender off here, then my next step is cutting it up, making it look good. The inside of this fender, or the inside of my new fiberglass over fender, should be smooth as glass. It should be just as smooth as the tuck tape surface. So you'll see little creases in there, but it should be all right. Ethan, hello, boy in the shop. Hello, boy on his computer or whatever. Oh, see, this is already a better stream than yesterday. And look at that, the overlay works. So you guys can see your comments. And YouTube should record those too. So if I keep this video up, which I should, I kept the last one up, you'll be able to rewatch it now, and you'll be able to watch the comments on screen, just to kind of get both sides of the dialogue of whatever we end up talking about today. I'm in the shower. Ethan's in the shower. Very nice. All right, Ethan. Well, I think I'm ready to pop off this fender here. I'll aim the camera up a tiny bit. All right. Wish me luck, ladies and gentlemen. Don't want to take the tape off. Just want to take off my flare. I should have made like a tab that gave me something to grab onto, because I can't really grab onto this stuff. Get under. I don't want to crack either. There we go. It might have bonded a little more than I would have liked, but see, hopefully it comes off. We're gonna go slow. We're gonna play it safe. I got one layer on there, so it won't be the strongest. All right. Once I'm able to get my hands under there, then it'll really come on. Oh, that's good. I went all the way down here without cracking it. Oh, you know what it is? It's stuck really well to that blue tape. I shouldn't have even put the blue tape on there. I just wanted to give myself a little guide. So the blue tape's going to come off, but it should come off the red tape really nice. What temp is your shop? Any issues with resin curing at low temps? Alright, so my shop is currently about 65 degrees. And there's very little humidity in here. I have had problems. So this is a polyurethane resin. It's a little less picky when it comes to curing. I'm just using the Bondo liquefied resin. This is, you can just pick it up at any auto parts store. I picked it up at O'Reilly's since I was kind of in a hurry. I came up with this idea, and it was one of those kind of like shower thought moments where like, I gotta act on this right now. And I immediately went in the garage. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna start a stream. I'm not even gonna waste time recording it and editing and upload. I'm just gonna get right into it. So that's what I picked up. This stuff cures a lot easier than, and it's a lot less tricky than working with epoxies. When you are working with epoxies, if you are in a cold environment, they do have stuff that's faster curing, so it'll kick off faster, giving you a shorter working time. So I think, yeah, they'll have some that are for like 50 degrees. They'll have some that are like from 70 to 80, and then like 80 to 90 or 80 to 100. And it's the same thing with like urethane paints. They're only really two-part system. They're going to cure faster when it's hot. However, sometimes a little extra humidity can help them cure. But in my experience, just be patient. If it's not curing, give it an extra day. If it's still a little softer after an extra day, then it's all right. Something went wrong. Oh shit. I ripped my glove. I'm gonna get pregnant, damn it. That's all good. I got a plan B here. Mr. Daft Punk, when will stickers of the Civic be available? All right. Well, I'm actually going to be doing probably stickers of the new shop logo, which is the silhouette of the Civic. I don't know. Something I got to work on. Probably in the next couple months, I'll get some more stickers out there. Right now, I'm busy just trying to survive. Yep, definitely will not be using the blue tape next time. That's giving me quite the headache here. This is going to be a pretty flexible layer. Let's see. Come on. I'm gonna be patient. Go. Whew, I thought it was going to crack there. It didn't. Alright. So yeah, the reason I wanted to take it off now while it's still one piece is sometimes when it's just one layer, you can trim this stuff with a scissor. It's really easy to cut. If you put like 2 layers of chopped strand fiberglass soaked in resin, it becomes significantly harder to cut and it's just a mess. So if you can just cut it without using like a cut-off wheel, like today, the scissor doesn't work, and I'll be using this guy, little air saw. These are like the same ones that Nakai-san uses from RWB Porsches. A lot less dust when you cut fiberglass with one of these. That's the last thing I need in my shop is a bunch of resin dust. That's what the shop next door, that's what he's got. He makes prosthetics, so he's dealing with carbon parts all the time. So he's always grinding resin pieces and... Alright, look at that. Cool. See, it comes off the red tape no problem. It was just those blue edges that was fighting. Yeah, shouldn't have done that, but we know now. And look at that, the red tape stayed on the car for the most part. At least the parts that mattered stayed. Alright, almost done here. There you go. Pretty sweet, huh? Pretty sweet. It's crazy. It's like I'm looking at the screen right now. It just looks like I'm looking at my Civic fender here. Oh, that's so cool. Now, I don't plan on having the fender go all the way up. Like I said, this is not a complete fender. This is an over fender. You see them on S14s. You see them on E46s. You see them on S15s. Popular drift cars that get smashed up all the time. But what about the Civic guys, you know? Not all of us have beautiful fenders. Oh my goodness. And look at that inside finish. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's like glass. Like I said, the inside finish is going to be an exact replica of what you got here. So yesterday when I laid the tape, I did my best not to have too many bubbles in there, you know? You're gonna have bubbles when you lay it on there, but I try my best to kind of stretch the tape and lay it out so got a nice clean inside to our mold. Oh, that's sweet. That is so cool. Ah. That is awesome. It's still a little bit like translucent. Alright, explain the process. Looks really good. Alright, so from step 1, the car was already wide-bodied. Say I didn't have steel flares on this thing. I have done this before, where you basically need to get that flared shape. There's a couple different ways to do it. The highest end designers, they use clay. They'll build the whole damn car out of clay. If you're really a good wizard at 3D printing and 3D sculpting with Blender, you would just mock something like this up in Blender and just boom, 3D print it, and that would be how you make your mold. I think the most experience I have is with composites and a little bit of metal shaping. So I already did kind of all the R&D, all the work to find a design that looks good on the Civic, and that incorporated the metal fender flares. So once we got that done, got it molded in, sorry, I got fiberglass in my mouth. I ended up really liking the look, and since I like the look, I figured maybe other people are going to like the look, and see if I can replicate it. So the first thing I did was cover the entire fender with this tuck tape, and before I stick it on, I do a technique called killing the tape, where you take the tape, you peel it back a little bit, if I can get an edge here. Yeah. Basically, you take the tape, and at first it'll be super sticky. To avoid that, you take it and you just put it on your clothes. You just rub it on your jeans or put it on your shirt, and then the tape's only about half as sticky. So when it comes time to take it off, it won't be that bad. Especially like packing tape, it can be kind of tricky to take off paint. And if your paint work kind of sucks, or your prep work kind of sucks, or your paint's really old, you'll take off the tape and it'll take your paint right with it. So gotta be careful, especially some cars, even factory paint's doing that. Let's see. I keep getting resin in my mouth. Anyway, yeah, so I covered the whole fender in tape. Now you can use a wax release agent on top of that. So I've used this stuff before, it works pretty damn good. And I didn't end up using it this time just because I wanted to show how well the tuck tape actually worked. And as you can see, it's an excellent release agent all by itself. With the wax, it would have been even better. It would have just blew on it and it would have flung off. So then, yeah, I put you put your wax, or I didn't put my wax release agent. I just did the tape, and then I went in and I mixed up my liquid resin, and I just smeared it all over. I got 100% coverage. With the Bondo, it's 4 fluid ounces to 40 drops of the hardener. And to make it a little bit easier to see my resin, I use this product right here. It's resin dye, and it works pretty good. So. So I mix that with the resin. It gives me kind of like a nice black color, and that way it's a little bit easier to see where I've gone and where I still have yet to paint it on. To paint it on, I just use these chip brushes. These are cheap, and I like to sometimes take them and slice the tips off so they're a little less flexible, so they're a little bit of a stiffer brush. Reason being is, so after you get done brushing it on, you got your complete coverage. That's when you take your chop strand fiberglass, this shit, and you stick it on, and then you want to basically fully impregnate the fiberglass with the resin that's already on the car. So you go in, and the best way to do it is just kind of stab at it. Just stab, 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 and the fiberglass will almost just kind of turn into glass, where the resin will soak into the fibers, and then you can see through it. So the first layer, you can actually see the red really well. Then, if there's any light spots, you'd see like the white weave, then you go ahead and take one of these bad boys, and they come in all different shapes and sizes depending on what you're working with, and you just roll it out. You roll out all those white spots. Within this time, you might have like 12 minutes of working time before the stuff starts to gel up. So you want to get it on there, get it impregnated, and as long as it's still tacky, you can put another coat on top. When it's a texture like this, when it's this smooth, if I were to put a coat of resin on top of this, it might not bond very well. On top of this, it'll bond a little better, still not great, but if this was tacky, it'd bond just fine. They call that the green stage, and you can kind of still leave fingerprints in it. Right now, if I wanted to do a coat over this, and I wanted to make sure it really bit in there good, I would probably scratch the whole thing up with like 40 grit sandpaper, then slap another coat on. So I don't know, we might end up doing that today. But the first thing we gotta do is trim this thing. So yeah, that's basically it. Clean the panel, tape the panel, kill the tape to make it less sticky, cover your panel in a release agent if you want. If you're using a really good tape, you don't need to. Mix your Bondo, put some dye in it so it's easier to see it painted on. Put on the chop strand fiberglass, stab at it with the brush to make sure it's fully impregnated with the resin. Then, if you want to put another layer on, sometimes you got to put more resin on top of the fiberglass, put another layer on, and kind of rinse and repeat. It's just like a bunch of resin fiberglass sandwiches. every layer should be impregnated from the bottom side, and then a lot of times you have to add more resin on top of that layer. So you'll know you're done putting the resin on the fiberglass when the fiberglass is see-through. So we'll probably, we might even get around to showing that today. But for now, let's cut this thing and see if we can put it back on the car. We'll take this blue tape off right here. We don't need that anymore. Other than that, the duct tape's holding up pretty good. Yeah, a little messy right here, but that's okay. And on top of making this kit for my Civic, I was thinking I could try to make some improvements while I'm at it. But since it's this thin, you can see it's kind of floppy. I'm gonna see if I can cut this thing with the scissors. Alright. They use a Hexagon 3D scanner to scan NASCAR. Okay, Hexagon 3D scanner, maybe get me one of those. A wasp flew into my weld puddle at work. I cast it in a resin sphere and display it. Oh, that's cool. Will we get an update on the NSX? Well, I'll tell you what, it should be pretty soon here. The next update will be a K-Series build video. So over there, oh, it's kind of hard to see. Over there is the K24A. It's almost completed, but there has been some delays in the project, mainly due to, I'm gonna say, like the customer's life circumstances right now. I guess it's kind of private for him, but yeah, he's just been very, very, very busy dealing with life stuff. So he's my first customer, so I'm working with him. In the future, I definitely got to get more strict with my deadlines and my basically like a written contract or a better contract when I'm working with customers. But it's a good learning lesson, and I figured I don't want to lose this customer. I'll keep working on the NSX in the background as I can. Don't worry, I'm recording all of it. But in the downtime, I got to do something to fill my time. So you guys have been seeing, I talked about in the last episodes that I've been doing kind of side jobs here and there. Just things like, did like a remote start install, did some brake jobs, oil changes, basic stuff like that. And you can make good money doing that, but my heart's not really in that, you know. That'll make you hate cars really fast. So I wanted to do something that was a little bit more fun, a little bit more my style, and something that I could do no matter how much space I had. So say I lost this shop space, you know. I couldn't park a bunch of cars and a lift and stuff inside my house or my little townhouse, you know. But if I just had this fender in here and a roll of fiberglass and a couple tables, I could make fender flares all day long. I can make over fenders all day long. And I can make them from anywhere, and I could serve customers from all over the place. So if I get another car on top of the NSX, I might film that too. I would love to film that too. But for now, I think doing both of these side by side is the best route for me, especially if I want to get my name out there as a automotive builder, basically. Letter of engagement. Yeah, I'm not very good with the business side of things, so I still got a lot to learn there. I'm gonna point the camera down and I'm gonna see if I can just cut this thing with the scissors. That'd be really slick. I cut it from the back side, and I can kind of see exactly where I need to cut, thanks to a good tape job we did. And this is a nice scissors too, so that helps a bunch. Yeah, look at that. We're actually cutting right through it. Yeah. You gotta be careful. If your scissors is dull, it'll just crack it. We gotta slice it. Careful, SpongeBob. Alright, that'll be the hardest part to cut. Obviously on the bottom edge is where all the resin's going to pool, that's where it's going to be really thick. But it cuts it pretty clean. Bottom is done. Now let's cut along the side. Looks like we have a pretty good witness mark here. And let's cut right along that line. And cut on the outside of the body line just in case we got to shave off any in the future. But yeah, if you can stop the project, do a little trimming with the scissors, and then get back on to laying some heavy fiberglass, I think this is the way to do it. Yeah, Ethan, what are you doing these days? What is your job? And what do you do for fun? Weld robot programmer. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that is sweet. You work for like a specific manufacturer, or you work with a whole bunch of different manufacturers? .48 XPC big mining shovel program for it, and others commensurate. Okay, sick. So that's is that industrial agricultural equipment? I forgot what that was. Alright, that's our second edge. Surface mining, geez, that's cool. So basically, Minecraft in real life. Alright, so that's our second corner. Cut easily with the nice hand scissors. Oh, look, yeah, look who's back at it. I'll put this somewhere where it's a little easier for me to read. Zero Super 420. I don't know who this is, but thank you for the support. Let me move my computer a little closer to me so I can actually read what's going on here. I never learned how to read. Wife started playing Minecraft this month. Big win. That is a huge win. It's Sam. Sam Wallen or Sam Schiltgen? I'm guessing probably Sam Wallen. Yeah, probably Sam Wallen, I'm guessing. Sam, look at this. I'm doing it. I'm doing something. Sam, I accidentally got some resin on my car yesterday. How the hell am I going to get that off? Go up a little bit. You're right, it's me. You're in fact doing it. Yeah, damn right I'm doing it. Someone's got to do it. Well, I'm glad we're getting a little bit more action in this stream. I plan on doing this. I guess Lauren wants to go on a day trip tomorrow because she got the work day off. But I think I do want to do this every Monday through Thursday. Not only is it easier than spending 5-6 hours recording a video or editing the video on top of doing the thing, I get the one-on-one interaction, which is literally that's like my favorite part of YouTube. Without that, I wouldn't do it. Your comments are what kind of keep me going here. Yeah, and it'd just be good engagement. So I think it's a win-win-win. Gets my name out there. I can interact with the community. You guys get to learn a thing or two and ask questions live. So it's not like I have to go back through my YouTube comments. Because even since I did a lot of DIY videos back in the day, like for example, I did a video like doing a rear disc brake swap on my Civic probably like 3 years ago. People still comment questions to me on that video 3 years, or today. So even though the video is 3 years old, people are still asking questions about that video today. So this is a good way for people to get on, get their questions answered. Sorry, I can't really talk today. Get their questions answered right away. And yeah, like I said, I think it's a win-win-win. And it feels good. I don't feel so alone this way. That's also a big benefit here. I feel like I'm part of something, you know? Oh, cool. Oh, that worked out slick. Okay, so. Oh, nice. That's exactly what I was hoping for. So I want to get this edge in the right spot on my mold here. And I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. You can see right here. You see that? Right, it's kind of hard to see. Oh, right here. Maybe you can't see that. Well, anyway, right here, there's a line. Oh, there we go. Now you can kind of see it. See that line coming from my finger right there? That's exactly where the fender ends. Give me a good place to cut. And I'm trying to think if because like one of the main things that I've noticed with my kit, and I'm sure a lot of wide body dudes deal with this, is it loves to fling rocks down the side of your car. Sam, can you attest to that for your wide body experience? The only way to stop that is to have the fender wrap all the way down and maybe even put a mud flap on there. This one goes down pretty far, so it stops quite a bit of it. However, I was still getting a little bit of rock flinging action. Also, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put like a rubberized coating on the inside of the flare just to kind of keep the noise down, you know? But my goal is, because you guys have probably seen when you get when you order a Duraflex kit, basically any other kit, right on the label, even before you buy it, it'll say something like not for road use. It always has that on there, or track use only. But any piece of bodywork, spoiler, over fender, front bumper, rear bumper, side skirt, anything, they all say should be installed, or basically must be installed by a professional. I want people to be able to install this with basically no automotive experience whatsoever. Couple lines of 3M VHB trim tape, slap this on there, they're ready for the track day. They don't have to go through the whole headache I did. Alright, is this going to be part of a plug for a mold? Yeah, track day, and I have a good pound or so of rocks, tired to re, etc. Okay, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, they'll start collecting up in the side skirts. I've seen that, like on Hondas, it'll start collecting up in here. Yes, this is going to be my plug. So it's an over fender plug, not a fender plug. So this works out perfectly. That's why I'm pulling it right off the car here. Soon we're going to be basically taping it back on the car. We're not checking fitment yet. Just wait. Soon we're going to be putting it back on the car, checking fitment, and then reinforcing any of the spots we need to reinforce. For body work on this thing, I might want to do that on the car as well. Basically going to make a really nice looking plug here. It's got to be really stiff, so when I take it off the car, put it back on the car, it doesn't change dimensions. But it'll probably end up being another layer of woven, what's this called? Woven like chop strand fiberglass. And then maybe I'll put a carbon layer on top of that, or maybe I'll use more of like the fine fiberglass mat, just to kind of get rid of these bumps. I did put one more layer of resin on it after the stream yesterday. That's why it's a little bit darker, but I didn't do anything other than that as much as I wanted to. Guys, I couldn't sleep last night. It was like 2 a.m. I was like, I want to go off to the shop. You know that scene in SpongeBob where like he's got to sneak out and go touch Bodie, his new car. That's literally how I am with these projects. I get these ideas in my mind, and I gotta act on them fast. Otherwise, what if I lose it? Yeah, dude, check this out. Look at how clean that line is, so we know exactly where to cut. What the hell was that? Heard something on my garage door. Yeah, look at how clean that line is. That'll be perfect. I'd be interested in giving you a hand making composite bits. Got some parts to try and make. Oh, that'd be perfect. Yeah, my goal is, I want to have something that's maybe like, probably sell these around like the $600 price point. I want to include shipping though. That's a big thing. Hold on, let me spit out whatever the hell is in my mouth right now. Sorry about that, guys. It was just pissing me off. I couldn't talk straight. I had like a piece of resin or a piece of fiberglass in my mouth or something. Anyway, I want to price them, I'd say around $600, maybe $800 if I make them out of fiberglass, or sorry, maybe $400 if it's all fiberglass, and maybe $800 if it's carbon for a set of 2. And then I could offer paint match. I could sell it with hardware and maybe like an edge seal kit. I want this thing to fit so good, you don't need no goddamn edge seal kit. Just a couple lines of that 3M VHB trim tape and you'll be good to go. I want this thing to fit nice. I want you to be able to slap it on your car and it just stays there because the static holds it in place. The fitment is that good. Okay. Your shop is haunted. What do you daily? Currently, okay, I'm not supposed to say this. I'm dailing the shop van, but it's just like a 5-minute back and forth drive to work. So I'm dailing a 2003 Chevy Astra van that I've put a lot of work into. And it's running really nice. Let's see, get some more over here. My streaming setup, I have my laptop sitting on a chair here, just a stool that my neighbor gave me, and then I got the camera up on a tripod. I just use the same Osmo Pocket 3 that I use when I film my regular videos. It's got a webcam mode too that works really well. Okay, I don't have a super clear one on here. Up top, down here it's very clear though. And it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to put on some safety glasses right now. Definitely when I start cutting with the power tool, then I'll put some glasses on for sure. Yeah, this is looking really cool, guys. I'm glad you guys tuned in for this. Oh, and yeah, so more on the topic. I haven't really explained this to many people, but why I'm kind of doing this is I've got a couple friends in like the aftermarket parts industry, and yeah, it's like manufacturing seems pretty fucking sweet, you know? It's less like, you guys know how cars go, right? So this is my experience doing the side jobs. So you guys know how it goes. I mean, especially on the road or, you work on your car, it's hard to predict exactly what's going to go on. You could be doing brake jobs, and then, you'll notice something, oh, your axle boot is torn, or oh, this bolt snapped because these things haven't been changed in 30 years, something like that. I really don't like that stuff backfiring on me when it's just me, then it's like all the blame right on me. I don't know, just like having that responsibility of other people's cars for like their daily drivers, I'm not a big fan of. When I have it in my shop, I have all the tools and everything, and I have the car for a long time, so I can come up with any solution I need to for any problem that pops up, or whatever the project may be. Then it's no problem. Leave your car with me for a month, leave your engine with me for a month. I got no problem. But when you give me a deadline, like you got to fix this thing, hope nothing goes wrong, and you got to get it done by tonight, that gets a little rough. I feel like dealers and a lot of shops, they get away more when like something doesn't go wrong, because then it's on the dealership. But for me, it's like it's on me. If something goes wrong, it's directly on me, and I don't have any time to fix it. Luckily, I haven't had any bad situations like that so far, but one close one I had was a remote start system. It was like a 2015 Toyota Camry. Simple remote start system install, right? Ordered a kit for it, and got into the car and started installing it. Oh, this is the wrong kit, because they had a different kit for the Toyota Camrys with keys and the ones that have push to start. So kind of stuff like that. It's like, I don't know. I'm not too passionate about it. If I want to be successful with this, I'm gonna have to follow what fucking keeps me up at night, and it's making cool shit like this. Plus, nobody's making cool body kits anymore. You got KBD that makes them out of polyurethane, and those are cool and all, but they usually don't fit right. They sag weird. If it rips, like plastic welding and refinishing plastic sucks. Fiberglass is a lot easier. I do want to make these in steel too, for anyone who's willing to bring their car over or donate a set of OEM fenders. I don't want to make steel fender flares on aftermarket cheap little Civic fenders that are really thin metal, maybe not the best fitment, because I don't want to add to whatever the previous manufacturer's shitty product was. So I want something that you can just slap on your OEM Civic. You got something good. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place right now. How do you play the Civic piano? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Oh, a chord at a time? I don't know. Do you have much experience with boxer engines? I don't. Gideon's the guy for boxer engines. His blew up. And I know like a good company to go to for aftermarket boxer engines are ones that are stout and ready to go. I think it's IEG. Maybe you've heard of like the term like IEG short block get thrown around. That's what I recommend. They probably have some good information over there. I've also kind of been thinking about, because I got that J series over there, I do see that they make a J series to the EJ manual transmission adapter. So to pick up like a 90 Subaru and slap in the J series would be kind of fun. And you got the hood scoop there, which gives you a little more clearance. Here's another technique I use if you get some fiberglass on your pants. Just take some tape, go like this. If you get it in your skin, sometimes using duct tape, it'll sting a little bit, but I'd rather rip some duct tape off my arm and have it sting for 5 minutes than have fiberglass in my arm all week long, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. I got the whole mechanical engineering degree and ended up in manufacturing. Boring. Okay, yeah, so was engineering boring, or is the manufacturing boring? I think like the repetitive part of manufacturing can get boring, but I think the problem solving and the R&D that's kind of fun. That happens at my work here and there. Oh yeah. What exactly happens at your work? You have problems with like they kind of go after you if something like completely out of your control goes wrong? I'm not sitting here making excuses. I'm just saying, that's just the reality of cars. I can't remember the last time I had a project go like 100% smooth with no hiccups at all. Usually there's always hiccups, it's just, are you prepared for those hiccups? At this point, I've got enough tools in my collection where I'm prepared for about 99% of hiccups, but there's some stuff where it's like, shit, man. Sometimes it'd be like, oh, I wish I had one of those like induction nut heaters or whatever. I wish I had my TIG welder up and running right now, or I wish I had a dent puller, stuff like that, Okay, yeah, if more happens when a repair or fix it attempts. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's always the worst. Especially if something happens, it's like you go for an oil change and like say like, oh, the drain pan, or like the oil pan, the threads are stripped out, and it needs to be rethreaded. Well, you can't really do that when it's on there. That's a little risky. You might get a flake or two in there. So now it's like, oh, okay, now you need to remove the oil pan, and you're gonna need an oil pan gasket. Well, what if it's one of those cars where to remove the oil pan, you gotta remove the subframe? Oh, and then those subframe bolts keep snapping on you because you live in the Rust Belt, things like that. And it's like, oh, why isn't my car done? It was just supposed to be an oil change. I know it was just supposed to be an oil change, but your car is a piece of shit now. Stuff like that, Let's see. Okay. Design engineering side is boring, but playing with robots, hell yeah. Yeah, that was my favorite part of tech school too, was messing around programming the robots. Also, those induction guns can be had for less than 200 for some, brother. You have experience using those things? The induction coil heater, majigger things? I'm curious. I haven't pulled the trigger on one yet, but I'm very curious. And shout out to you guys for hanging around in the chat. It's very nice. It makes working so much better. What the hell was even that? Okay. You guys like the chat overlay? I added that today. I'm not the savviest streamer in the world, but I was able to figure that one out. Oh, all right, that's a clean enough line. I'm gonna be using, I think I got my right angle grinder over here. I'm gonna be using this guy. Woo-hoo! I'm gonna be using this guy when it's time to clean up my edges. Well, yeah, front cut didn't turn out that bad. I did make an oopsies here. You can see the blue tape got underneath kind of like this front portion of the fender here, so I think a lot of that section I won't need, but that is a small mistake that I made there. That's okay. So, yeah, as far as the top line, so there is a natural body line on the Civic right here, and I want to follow that. I don't know if I want to cut right below it, directly on the ridge, or what. I think I might want to cut it directly on the ridge, build up maybe 2 millimeters of the fiberglass or carbon, whatever I ended up using, and just have it so kind of you have the dividing line from the over fender, but there's no like obvious hump here. Because I think if you have like a hump from the over fender where it meets the car, and then a second hump, that's going to look tacky. If it looks completely flush, that might look a little strange. Like if it goes over this hump and then it's got to be bolted on up here, I don't think that's going to be the best look. I think, yeah, trying to just get it right in that natural body line. So I'm gonna cut it right at the ridge and then shave from there. You'll see what I'm talking about later. But yeah, the next part is gonna be the bottom, the big arc there, and you can see the lip translated onto our plug really, really well. So we do have a clean cut line there. See that, guys? That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're looking for. So I really wanted to make sure that the resin, although it's the chop strand fiberglass, although it's very stiff, I really wanted to make sure that it was laying against that edge there. And luckily I got it to stuck. Luckily I got it to stick, but I did have to wait till the resin was really tacky. All right, Eduardo. Hey, hi. I haven't been watching your videos lately. YouTube doesn't recommend me. Hope all is okay. Y'all doing right? I cannot stay, but I'll check your channel tomorrow. Good night. I appreciate it, Eduardo. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I don't exist in YouTube land, I guess. So I think right now they push more established creators. I'm not very established at all. They're a safer bet, and these days YouTube is all about just retaining you. And so the content that is a lot more engaging, a lot more in your face, that's the stuff that really sticks around there. Somehow my content always like brings on like the 20, usually like mid 20s to 30s, and then some older dudes. Those are mainly the guys that watch my content. Probably like the car guys that are reminiscent of like the early days of the tuner scene. That's kind of my crowd, which is not the biggest crowd in the world. Okay, we got just about every type of plate heating stuff. A real big plate, induction, ceramic pads, ultrafire torches. Cool. That's awesome. I don't have shit. No, I got a couple heat guns. Maybe for this part, for this edge, I'm gonna try to use this guy, huh? I'm gonna go ahead and put the glasses on for this one, though. We'll give it a shot. Alright, wish me luck, brothers. This hopefully doesn't make too much dust. This is a pretty sweet tool. I think it's gonna be easier to cut a nice smooth curve with this than it will be with the scissors. Don't forget a mask. You know what? That's not a bad... Oh, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't need to breathe in the resin dust. That's a good point. Good point, brother. I knew I was going to use it today, so I had it at the ready, luckily. What's the plan now? Oh, crashing this plane. All right, let's do this. Well, we'll practice first. I'll cut this little chunk off right here for practice. All right, that worked pretty good. Pretty good. All right, I'll trim up the rest of this here. Not bad. The blade's a little dull. And I haven't used this tool in a while, so please be patient. Okay. I can finish this last part with the scissors. You just can't really do like an inside cut with the scissors, you know? There you go.
Okay, so that definitely wasn't the best cut in the world, but it also wasn't the worst. It could have been a lot worse. I'm gonna give it a 6. No, I'll probably give it a 5.6 out of 10. I like the mass contact. All right, what do you think, guys? Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, it's still round somewhat. It is still round. Last part is the top. And yeah, should be okay. Maybe I'll make a tape line. Nice.
Maybe I'll make a tape line, so it's a little easier for me to see where I want to cut. I kind of have a line there. I kind of see a crease there.
Maybe I just want to highlight it. Right about there. I got a pretty good line already. Right about there. There we go. That'll be a nice guide for us. Be good. All right, let's do this. Stuck on there. Do you have a Dremel for cutting? No.
My Dremel's broken. Alright, I'll put my mask back on. My Dremel is broken. I've got this guy, but I couldn't find my cutoff wheels today, god damn it. Guys, my legs are so fucking itchy right now, you have no idea.
Yeah. Do you have any?
Sam, do you have any plug-in ones, or is just air tool? I hear the air ones are where it's at. Keep my damn mask on. Sorry.
Oh guys, this is coming out pretty good. Man, this shit is thick. You're getting a nice cut though. Oh, All corded, not pneumatic. Alright, sounds good. I will take your offering. And yeah, when this shit explodes, and we're the biggest body kit business in the world, you guys can come work with me. I hope you like to be itchy. But I know there is definitely some more less nasty, more environmentally friendly resins out there.
I know there's more less nasty, more environmentally friendly resins out there. I think I'd like to invest in some of those. And do a little bit more research, because they're not all created equally. There's going to be some resins that give you mad flex. And there's going to be some resins that'll crack, but they'll be hard as a rock. There'll be some resins that warp in the sunlight, and there'll be some resins that are incredibly UV resistant. So, as I develop my skills, I'll be practicing with different materials. If you have repetitive or long cycle time tasks, the air tools will save you, yeah. But the friendly stuff doesn't work the same. Instead of fiberglass, you can just use carbon fiber. Yeah, that's the plan. I think I just specialize in carbon fiber. Because, hear me out. You could sell 20 kits for $500 flares made of fiberglass, or you could sell 10 kits of $1,000 flares made of carbon fiber. The carbon fiber is just as easy to work with, if not easier to work with. People don't realize that. They're just scared because the parts look sweet. It's just as easy. I tell you what, it's easier, if not easier to work with than fiberglass. Fiberglass is good for get your initial shape. Once you get your initial shape and you got yourself an actual mold, yeah, carbon all the way, baby. So, it's like, why wouldn't you work with carbon fiber? You're going to get higher end customers. You're not going to have to make as much. And if you do produce the same value, you'll make twice as much. So it's like, shit, man. And it looks cool as hell. And you can even paint over it. And if you're a civic guy, I mean, we're all about our weight reduction. Everyone's going to choose the fiberglass, or everyone's going to like the carbon fiber option. So, yeah. Especially if I get like a couple partners in the industry, man, we could have something really special here. So once I get the fronts done, eventually I want to do the rears. So the stages are like this. I got to create the ultimate shape for the front, starting with my bones here. Once I have that, then I'll 3D scan it. I got to make sure it's stiff as hell. I'll 3D scan it and make a duplicate of the other side using a large 3D printer. I got a smaller one. I use a Bamboo Lab P1S. It's good, but it might not be accurate on this large of a scale. So we'll see. If I get in contact with someone who's got a 3D printer that's like deadly accurate at large scale, I wouldn't mind duplicating this, and that'd be a second plug that I'd use for my driver's side mold. So then I'd have a plug for each side of my desired shape. And once I got that plug and I make the two halves of my mold, it's on, baby. I'm gonna try to, basically try to sell the fronts, and if I can sell the fronts and this whole business model actually works, then then I'll move on to other things and maybe other cars. But this is just the very beginning. I'm very excited. Ever used Aeromat or Kevlar? I have not. Dude, I love the carbon Kevlar look though. Carbon Kevlar would be sweet. Yeah, those would be strong as hell. That's not a bad idea. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a fiberglass fender. Pretty sweet. It's got some cubes I gotta cut off here. So that's a pretty good initial shape. Fitment should be perfect too. Well, let's test it out. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'll tape this thing in place. Maybe I'll stick it in place. A couple spots to stick it. Maybe a bad idea. If I stick it in place, and then sand it, and put another layer on top, I think. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should cut out this piece. What do you guys think? Do you think I should cut this piece out so you can lay it over your existing door molding? Or do you think I should incorporate it with the over fender itself? I might want to incorporate it, I don't know. My buddy John and brother Matt have EK coupes, so perhaps you can test those and see how straight it is. Both have OEM fenders. Oh, that would be perfect. Now it just needs wheels. Yeah. Those aren't Civic brakes, those are off of Miata. This is Miata subframes here. So that's a big old spoiler for you guys. But yeah, as to be expected, the fitment is spot on, because we just literally used this car as our mold. See. Where do we go from here is the question. I think we just lay down maybe a couple more layers. Couple more layers. Yeah, I'm gonna want to lay it down while it's on the car. That is the best way to do this. Because if the resin cures and this thing's not perfectly on the car, my fitment's going to be whack. So I got to make sure this is perfectly sucked to the car. I would do two options with the trim and without. Okay, yeah, one option with the trim, one without. That's not a bad idea. I think I'll keep the trim on this for now. Shouldn't be too bad to delete that after the fact. So we'll keep it on there for now. Let's go ahead. And I'll just use some tape and tape it in a couple spots that are really important. Stick. You know, I could use magnets too. I could always use magnets since the car's steel. Yeah, I'll just tape it up in the corners. So, what would I use for tape? I want it to be, what should I use for tape? Oh. Let me tape a border on here first. I guess I could just use little pieces of this stuff. This is just the plug anyway, you know, so it's got a couple pieces of tape inside of it. You know, it don't matter. Oh, we got something new. Young King 47, first time ever seeing a mechanic do live. Kind of fire, Loki. Oh, that's funny. I thought about the other day, I was like, because I know IRL streaming is kind of a thing. I don't really watch that shit, but I know it's a thing. You don't see too many live mechanics or artists. I'd say this is more art that we're doing today than mechanics, but oh yeah, young King 47, you're about to watch me put another layer of fiberglass on this thing. Fitment worked pretty good. I laid the mold yesterday. I have 2 layers of resin, 1 layer of chopped strand fiberglass, and the tuck tape is my release agent. Worked really well. And now I'm going to tape this thing back on the car, just in a couple spots, just to make sure the fitment looks really good. And if everything lines up, we'll sand it real quick, just to key the surface. And we'll mix up another layer of resin and we'll slap it on. It's about to get dusty in here though. Yeah, I'll probably use my, I don't know if I'll sand it by hand, I'll probably use my DA sander. It's gonna get really dusty in here. We can watch him scratch his itchy legs in real time. If I went live at work, there'd be too many curse words. Yeah, I try to avoid that. It's like, when I do go live, there is no like cutting out content, so I do gotta watch what I say, you know, it's like, it almost makes you kind of, before you say anything, you gotta really think about it, which is kind of hard for me to do, but I'm doing it. So I'm just going to use little pieces of tape, just tiny ones, just to hold it down. Just sort of tight up against the body of the car here. You don't want to overlap onto the part too much. Get the corners. This part looks good. This corner is going to be important we tape down. All right, good enough that you hold it in place. I'm just going to give it a quick scuff here. Swearing could be replaced by aggressive sounds. Yeah, let me get I'll get my gnarliest sandpaper I got for like 40 grit or something. We'll knock this down real quick. I got 60 grit. That'll be nice. Now, do I use the hand sander or not? Honestly, no. I'm just going to do this by hand. Sorry for the terrible noise. This can be kind of a bad sound to hear. So you might want to turn the volume down if you don't like that scratching sound. that'll give it just a little something to bite onto. And then yesterday we used chop strand. Maybe today we'll use a different kind of fiberglass. I could probably get that to 120 grit with my bare hands. I would not want to go on a date with you. My soft hands would just make it oily. Like after an Atuma mechanic, winter makes the jobs harder on that. Yeah, true. Now we're going to have a little bit more precision with this next layer. We're going to be using a fiberglass matting that's not chop strand. And that should help smooth things out a little bit. Of course, we'll lay something down so we don't get a bunch of resin on the floor because it's going to be dripping everywhere. There's that. Trained astronaut. What other body panels are you doing? So we're gonna start the no date night. I see. I'm just starting with the front fenders. Eventually we'll switch. We'll do the rear fenders, but it's gonna start passenger side fender, then driver's side fender. Gonna make some nice molds for them, and then I want to make them out of carbon fiber. It's basically just a carbon fiber replica of my already widened steel fenders here. So these are going to be plugs for a mold, and we're going to be doing a carbon layup inside that mold. But today we're just getting the original shape. We are basically kind of defining the plug, getting a good looking plug in our ideal fender shape that's going to work out for the majority of people who want to get a little wider. I just keyed the surface a little bit with some 60 grit sandpaper, just so the resin sticks a little bit. Just so the resin sticks a little better. Shouldn't have a problem. Oh, I got this. Oh, here we go. All right, we're in luck. I found this mixing cup and I found this one, so that should be perfect for what we're doing today. Oh, what? Yeah, maybe we can make a plug out of the Fields fenders. I've been trying to find the matching rears. People don't want to sell them. All right, so that would be cool. I did hood and fenders and carbon fiber on my Civic hatch. Sweet. Doing bumper soon. Cool. Well, yeah, let me know if you got any tips for the process here. Just trying to get her kind of sorted today. Probably should have done more layers while it was still on the car. It's still thin and floppy. It kind of wants to pull off the car right now. It's still close enough. Fitment's still not bad. But I do have to put these little pieces of tape just to kind of hold it nice and tight. We're going for the A1 premium fitment, so let's see. Yeah, should I use? I mean, the chop strand would get us a lot more structure. I would give it a lot more strength. But this stuff might not be bad either. I haven't used it. I've been meaning to use it. I don't have much experience with it, but it might work out better for getting nice, smooth parts. So maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to try. Let's see, how is this folded up here? Let me fold it in on itself. Here's an edge here. Okay. Alright, says it's going to turn out good. I grab my tape measure. Oh, I just found my cutoff wheels. God damn it. Guess who just now found their cutoff wheels? I got a whole stack of these. These would have came in handy a little bit ago. I wouldn't have had to take it off and cut it with the scissors had I had found these. It is what it is. We got to keep moving on here. Gosh dang it. Yeah, okay. Let's see. So, got my mixing cup. Got the resin. And got the hardener right here. I was looking for my, what was it? I was looking for my tape measure. That's it. We're just going to do a general sketch here. Cut out our piece. Alright, just give us something to work with. Got one layer here. Perfect. Alright. Hey bro, about to pour up. Oh, nice. Alright, so we're looking at around 20. Oh. It's going to be about 20 and a half inches. We'll just call it 21. Okay. Cut this piece off here. This is fiberglass, right, guys? I haven't used this. I know I bought it a long time ago. It might work good for us today. So it's 21 inches. That goes for, I don't know. Damn, it's like 36 on the nuts. What are the chances of that? It kind of slopes down a little bit. those. And then from there, goes down about 6.5. We'll just call it 7 for now. 6, 7, go fuck yourself. Let's see, 7 inches. Alright. And then from there, I leave room for this big old flare here. That's about 7 inches. It's gonna be about. So I'll probably go from the 18-inch mark. I'll give it like 8 or 9 inches down. So 18-inch mark there. Go down about 9 inches. And that should take care of the flare area. And then the rest, maybe I'll just do a diagonal down. Let's see, this is about 8. I'm going to need myself a little bit more room. Going to need at least 11 around here. So we're just going to draw, let's see, we'll go to around 9. And then we'll just draw a nice kind of diagonal this way. And that should get us pretty much covered. I might have to trim a little bit out here, but we will do that when I lay it on the car. This stuff's pretty thin. It shouldn't add a ton of strength, but it should. Oh, that is nice to cut. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. That was nice. So yeah, like I was saying, this is not going to add a ton of strength, but it should add a little bit. Oh my. That's what it's all about right there, damn. I haven't seen how many, like, oh yeah, like 10 people watching at once, cool. I saw it, I flicked to 10 for a little bit, then it went back to 8. Oh, that's, we beat yesterday's record, maybe tomorrow we could beat it again. Well, I'm supposed to go on a date tomorrow. We'll see what time that is. Yeah. Monday, we'll beat it again. Who makes those scissors? That was probably the best advertisement ever for those. Uvingo. U-V-I-N-G-O. Uvingo is what it looks like. Take us on the date. Well, I'd have to bring my laptop and power supply and my camera, and it'd be a whole thing, and I don't know if Lauren wants me to do that. Alright, let's see if our piece is going to fit here. That's a yes. It'll be tight. Oh! Actually, I think it might not be a bad idea to do 2 pieces. I'm going to cut it a little small. I didn't take into account the bend here. Oh, let's see. So we're good in the front. We're good to about the middle of there. So I'll cut that piece off. We'll do 2 separate pieces. That'll be the first piece. Then maybe I'll do a couple strips. This would be a good one. Good strip to have in there. Honestly, yeah, just this piece alone is probably perfect. Just these 2 are fine. Cut the tip off this. We'll be in business. That is really nice. So just these 2 pieces is all we're going to need. We'll pack up the rest. We've been streaming for an hour and a half. I only streamed for, I think, about an hour yesterday. So, I like to go home around like 8 o'clock at night. I usually get to the shop around like 11 o'clock if I had a good morning. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer, so I'm usually here for about 9 hours a day. Sometimes less, sometimes more. Okay. 2 pieces. And we got a popsicle stick. Resin cup here. We're gonna mix a big old batch of resin today, guys. I'll tilt this up a little bit so you can see the whole fender. The whole enchilada, they say. All right, I got 9 people here. Watch this, guys. We're about to pour some more fiberglass. There, we are up tight against the body of the car, tight enough for the girls I go out with. I'm a married man, I should not be saying that, but you know what I mean. Get these out of the way. And pour one out. This one's to you, Sam. Samwise Gamgee. Oh, yeah. We're doing a big mix today, boys. Let's do 6 fluid ounces. 6.5 fluid ounces? Nah, 6. 6 fluid ounces. Probably gonna do her. Alright. And we're gonna put a cap on that right away because this shit stank. Alright, that means I gotta put 60 drops of hardener in it. It's a 1 to 10 ratio. There's our hardener right there. $60 drops. All right, count them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. All right, let that shake that off. You shake it more than once, you're playing with it. I poured this one kind of full, so I'm going to really be careful mixing it up. What do you guys think? We should put some resin dye in this one or not? Yeah, was that for the auxiliary? You like that? Maybe I will put some resin dye in this one. Oh, that stuff is stinky. Let's see, where is my resin dye? I had it here earlier. Story of my life. You know, where did I just had it. Where did I put that? Maybe no dye for this one. That's okay. We don't need it. Maybe it will be nice to kind of have a contrasting color. I wish I had like a white dye or a red dye or something would be sweet. Or a yellow dye. Yellow number 5. Do they make like a red 40 resin dye? That'd be nice. Get you guys in on the action here. Yeah, scrape the walls. Kind of scrape the bottom. I spent a good amount of time mixing. Because like I was telling Ethan earlier today is, yeah, it all comes down to the mix, the prep work, and all that jazz. Even tape a corner down here just to hold it a little tighter to the car. Is it viscous? You better believe it. And it gets thicker once it kicks off, you know. But yeah, this shit is pretty viscous. That means it's like the more viscous it is, the thicker it is. This is the higher viscosity, the thicker it is, and the lower, the thinner it is. Is that how that works? I forgot. All I know is I'm about ready to slather it up here. And like I said, I haven't used this kind of fiberglass in a while, so hopefully it works out smooth. Yeah, I got everything here to lay it down, so I know it doesn't conform as well. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe if it's not conforming as well as I'd like, maybe I'll have to get the razor blade out, cut it a little bit. It don't matter if there's little seams, I can always sand it down. Yes, and Lord of Self-Thickness. Alright, I think I'm done mixing this shit. Let's pop the stick off to the side. And we got probably about 11 minutes on the clock. Let's do this shit. Oh yeah. Look at the flare. Work top to bottom because it's all dripping that way anyway. It's all dripping down anyway. Get it right up on that red tape. It don't matter. Try my best not to sling it around too much, but it'll happen, guys. It's unavoidable. But yeah, I really want to get it in the corners there. And I mean, yeah, if a little resin goes behind it, actually it'll just fill that gap that we were worried about. So it's not the end of the world if a little resin goes past the edges. And with that 60 grit key, that'll be more than enough to get the resin to stick. Remember, we are working in 2 parts, so maybe I'll finish up this front and top here, and then we'll put the top portion on, and then move our way to the bottom portion. Just because I feel like this is all going to keep dripping down here, so I want to make sure I kind of stay on top of everything at once. This is a fairly simple part, but doing this can be, I remember like my first couple wet layups, it's stressful, you know, it's stressful when you're kind of on the clock like that, because the longer you wait, the thicker this stuff gets, and then it's really hard to work with, and then you could really mess up your part. Oh, my wife is here. Have fun on your date. Oh, yeah, I told him we're going on a date tomorrow. What date? What date? Guys, I'm scared. Oh, is it technically not a date since we're husband and wife? We're just... I would still consider it a date. Told him we're going on a day trip, so I probably won't upload tomorrow. That's why I said on my post that my lives are going to be Monday through... they're going to be Monday through Thursday. But I don't know, I'm so excited about this whole concept of doing all this. I kind of want to do this every day, but can't right now, guys. Cannot right now. So I did cut a little short. You can see a little bit of the red showing up, but this is an opportunity to fix that right now, so we will. I'm trying a different fiberglass here, Lauren. Trying this regular matte, not chopped strand. We're gonna see how it goes. See how well it takes on the resin here. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, looks like it's already absorbing it pretty good without me even doing anything. I'll wipe some resin off my brush and see if we can start stippling. Stipple, stipple, stipple. Yeah, it definitely doesn't conform as well. Does not conform as well as the chopped strand. So I'm just going to kind of work my way down. You see we got a pretty defined line on that body line. That's exactly what we're looking for, folks. That's the good stuff right there. That is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, we got our first crease. Can we work it out? Oh, that's a crease from when it was folded up. We can work that out. We can work that out. Ain't no problem. We don't have problems here at Crafted Cards. We got solutions. Custom auto solutions. Sorry, I could probably angle the camera a little bit better, but I'm already locked in, so I'll have to wait. This fiberglass mat seems to be absorbing the resin really well. It's taking on the resin really well, so we'll have to see that. Another crease here. Okay, we got a couple creases here. So, gotta work around them. Like I said, we might get some creases, but that's alright. We'll just have to maybe try to do a little bit of cutting or something, get them out of there. But yeah, this is going to give us a much flatter finish for sure. Try to get that tucked in there. Very nice. Thank goodness. And I haven't even added any to the mix yet. Still got to slather some on. That'll help us even more. Don't even think about creasing over there. No, not even think about creasing. Alright, love you too. Go play Zelda. The molds will be crazy to do. Yeah, I am using a different fiberglass now. Or are you guys talking amongst yourselves? I can't chat right now. I'm locked in. I'm going to put a nice thick layer on here, put that bottom piece on, and then I'm going to move over to the roller tool. I'm fighting a little bit of bubbles here, so not the end of the world. Oh, and you're right, some relief cuts along that edge would not be a bad idea. Although it looks like it's conforming pretty well already. Some relief cuts here is not a bad idea. That's it. Yeah, it definitely doesn't conform as well as the chop strand. Not even close. But the trade-off is you get a much flatter surface. And it's not like, when this stuff cures, it's not like you can't sand this mat either. It'll sand just like any other piece will sand. Yep, I'm chasing bubbles here, so we'll bust out, well, we'll do the second piece here, and then we'll bust out the roller. Good. Alright, switch to the roller here. And see if I can adjust the little knob. There we go. Let me bring you guys a little closer. Get in on this action. Yeah, I used to use that map. Now I use chop. Yeah, straight up. Let's see, where did I put that? Where did I put that roller? Just had that. Oh, here we go. See if we can roll some of these bubbles out. There you go. See you later. It's a bubble-free zone. We don't allow bubbles over here. Please. Yeah, I might want to take my razor and just slice this big crease right down the middle. It's kind of fighting me. It's fighting me, and I don't like that sort of thing. Slice it up. I'll turn this into chop strand if I have to. Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Little bubbles, I'll pop with the razor blade. So I'm still kind of learning. I'm learning along with you guys here. So cut me some damn slack. Chop it over here. And it's not like I'm dragging the razor against the car, because this is it's got a layer of fiberglass on it. All right, that should help a little bit. Back to the brush. Really goop it on now. We're doing it. We're doing it. Come on, get in there. Should have put a little bit more down for my initial layer, it seems. But we're doing it. And I usually save the edge for last, just because sometimes it's a little bit of difficulty tacking up there. Looks like it's gonna work okay for us though. How you guys doing over there? Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't catch what the car was. Looks like a BMW. Yeah, I actually designed it to look like the Need for Speed Most Wanted BMW. So it's the replication is an E46 M3 GTR. So I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly the look I was going for. M3 GTR, yep, he gets it. It's not like the small cuts won't fill with resin. Yeah, true, it's a Civic Coupe, yeah. Not the end of the world to do the small cuts. Not the end of the world at all. Alright, so this layer is just kind of smoothing everything out. We'll put a little bit more under here, I think. There we go. So yeah, using every time I use this mat, I think the key is just going to be cut it into a little bit smaller pieces. I think I just cut it into too big of pieces this time. So instead of 2 big pieces, next time we'll do maybe 4 or 5 smaller pieces. But like I said, kind of learn as we go here. Should really saturate that edge. And you gotta kind of revisit some spots, because you'll tamper them down, but then they'll pop right back up again. And a lot of times you gotta wait till the resin gets a little stickier. So I'm gonna go in with my razor blade here again and cut around this little ding dong shape. Find my razor. Give us some relief here. Lord knows we need it. There we go. Should help that situation a little bit. Perfect. Let's load that bitch up. You want this resin. You want all the resin. Oh shit. Trying not to get it on myself here. One more relief cut. A couple more relief cuts. It's getting stickier, that's for sure. Definitely getting stickier. That's good. It's all part of the process. Make sure we got everything over here. Oh, that's a dry spot. Can't be having that. My buddy makes carbon for BMW. I know, half-inch relief cuts for that mat. I do. All right, yeah. So a lot more relief cuts, a lot smaller pieces next time around. It's gonna be the move. All right, I'll bust the roller out again so we can get some more of these bubbles out of here. It's almost like this resin doesn't really breathe really well. Like it doesn't want to really release the air pockets too well. Or not the resin, the mat. It doesn't breathe nearly as well as the chop strand. Yeah, get out of there, Bubbles. Yeah. Yeah. A little too sticky now. Yep, should have done another layer of chop strand. Oh, this is working. It's working okay. And there's nothing wrong with using your finger from time to time. Don't let anybody tell you different. Sometimes you got it. Sometimes your fingers are the ultimate tool. Yeah, I might just ditch this piece. I don't really need it. We are developing a really nice curve here, where before this edge, the spender was really sharp. Now it's kind of smoothing out. Looks good. Sorry, I'm not reading the chat too much. I'm kind of locked in. Where's me? What wheels are you putting on the BMW BBS wheels? They fit that bad boy. That's the secret. That's right. Yeah. Hey. Okay, looks like it'll take the resin, but you gotta be pretty hard on it. Damn. Okay, yeah, you can pop the bubbles. You just gotta stab at them really good. Okay, cool. That's working. All right, now's a pretty critical time. Kind of work out a lot of these bubbles and smooth it out for the final coat all in one. Really make sure you get that body line. That part's gonna be a pain in the ass. Yep, chop strand for sure next time. This stuff is a little bit too finicky. It looks like my aggressive stabbing made it want to pop off the card too. That's not good. Put some fresh gloves on. Oh no, I ripped my glove again. I'm gonna get pregnant. Yeah, now I have to work on doors. Yeah, you should. Yeah, definitely should have used chop strand this time around. It is what it is. Maybe I have to do a couple more relief cuts with the blade, but I don't know. Nothing that can't be reworked, obviously, but obviously want it to fit it right. Want it to fit right the first time. What I'll do probably the next time around is we'll get this thing, I'll sand it. So I think my game plan now is I'll let this cure. I'll sand it, I'll get it pretty smooth. So I'll sand it down probably with 40 grit too. I'll smooth it out quite a bit. Then I might maybe do a quick sand on the backside along the edges. Then put a bunch of resin on the backside and then stick it to the car with the resin. That might be the best. Yeah, stick it to the car using the resin on the backside of the over fenders. Then on the front side of the over fenders, once it's dried and cured, I'll just use that to tape it tight up against the car. That way this is just nice and flush. Let's see. I mean, yeah, either way, this is gonna stick just fine. This shouldn't be bad. Just I don't even want this to be a millimeter off the car. I want it to be on the car. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a mold, so it's going to be reworked a bunch of times anyway. Problem area there. Yeah, the second I kind of chop it into little strands, boom, it lays perfectly. So for sure chop strand, I've said it a million times, but yeah, for sure chop strand next time. All these problem areas, I'm just going in and I'm just slicing it up, or maybe even just cutting them out. A little last minute repairs, but luckily it's holding up. It's giving us a little more working time. Like this doesn't want to lay down very nice, so I can just cut this. Maybe while this stuff is still as tacky as it is, maybe I'll put some on the backside now. Yeah, it's trying to fall off on me. No! No! You got a steak. Let's see. Maybe. Yes. I'll let it peel off a little bit. This stuff's not really thick enough to use as glue right now. Damn. Hold on. Oh, no, we're kicked off. All right. Come on, buddy. I wish I had another set of hands, you know. Oh, piece is already peeled. Stay there. I suppose I can always put masking tape on top of it. It's not like it's going to. It's not like it's going to hurt it. I have to kind of use the right card here. That's unfortunate. It started falling off right at the last second. We'll get it sorted. Alright, at least it's held tight against the car now. Tighter. It'll make it a little harder to get off the car, but it won't be the end of the world. I could always just cut the tape. Make sure it's held really tight. Now the front. Alright, no big deal. Like I said, it'll make it a little bit more challenging when we take it off. And by saying this, I'll have to sand the masking tape off, but not the end of the world. Nice and tight to the body of the car. Yeah, composites can be a big sticky mess sometimes. This is one of those times. I caught it on camera. But we're going to be all right. That'll be just fine. Okay, can I start over? I just got here. So, what happened was, yeah, I had my first layer of chop strand laid down, and I took it off the car. I trimmed all the excess off. I had a bunch of excess fiberglass. And I got this new piece on the car. I put our new trimmed over fender section on the car. It was all rough because it was made from chop strand fiberglass. And I covered it in resin, taped off the edges and everything. And I used a different type of fiberglass today. I used this kind of flat, tighter woven mat. And it worked okay. It did a really good job smoothing out the bumps from the chop strand, but it did wrinkle a lot easier. And it gave me some problem areas, and I don't know if I want to use it again. I'll probably use it again in different scenarios, but for forming around custom shapes, chop strand is the way to go, my guys. Chop strand is the way to go. Let's see if I can get this. Just getting to the point where the resin is really thick. Can't really brush it on anymore, but you can use this time to kind of help stick any spots that didn't want to stick before. For some reason, these parts don't want to stick. So yeah, the next one I'll pull it off. It'll just be a little bit stiffer. I'll sand it smooth again. This time I'll sand it really smooth. Do a little bit more trimming. Put her back on the car. This time, the next time I'll probably use resin to mold it to the car again. I'll put resin on the back side of it. Keep the red tape on the car. Because this is probably going to end up being a couple millimeters thick anyway, so I'll definitely have to put on another layer. Ooh, that's a good point. I could do that next time. That's not a bad idea. All right, so the next time I'm going to cover the whole thing in chop strand again. Just slather that in resin and then maybe put this piece over that. Maybe I'll finish this piece up really nice, then do one layer of chop strand in between this piece and the car. Or maybe maybe not even chop strand, maybe just like a thick layer of resin between this piece and the car, and then peel that off. There's a couple different ways we can go about this, but that might be the best method. Let me see if I can find something to get this sticky goop off my hands. So, Trip093, how you doing today? Yeah, actually brake cleaner worked pretty good. Better than some, worse than others. I use straight isopropyl alcohol to remove the resin if it's still tacky. All right, well, that's good to know. I just used a little bit of brake cleaner, and then now I'm just using some dish soap to get the brake cleaner off my hands. I bought an Impreza for daily 2 months ago, and the head gaskets are already blue at 117K. Damn. I'm not huffing the brake cleaner. We haven't gotten to that point in the stream yet. Lauren, why the heck didn't you come over here and help me lay some fiberglass? I could have used a second set of hands. I really could have used you in the shop today, Lauren. Damn it. Tears of the Kingdom. Oh yeah, Lauren loves that. She's been playing that left and right. There we go. That helped a little. Yeah. Needed a long shower. Zelda and the children overstimulated me today. How many people we got watching? Oh, we got 6 people watching. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm going to put on one more set of gloves and then begin cleaning up. Yeah, composites are a mess, man. Every time I bust them out, I make a mess. I'm getting better. When I first was learning composites, oh man, it was a nightmare. So I'm getting a little neater now, but yeah, it's still pretty sloppy work. Lauren's making dinner. Cool. Oh, my Acura Legend's in the frame now. Lauren's favorite car. Oh, now there's 9 people in here. Cool. Introduce yourself. So far we had Sam Wallen in the chat today. We had Ethan. He's always tuned in, which is really nice. Let's see that. Trip 093. That's this blown up Subaru. And my wife. Yeah, you missed the light. It's so smooth. Yeah, it's a nice, quiet, smooth car. It's kind of nice. After I did the head gaskets in that car, Lauren basically just went on a test drive for me, and she drove it for probably a good 2,000 miles after that. No real issues. And now I can drive the car anxiety-free. Wrap it all up. Open her back up. There's a lot of shit in here. Just got to make these plugs. This first plug is the hardest part. It's the hardest part of this whole shebang here. Once I get this nice first plug, I make a mold of it. I get a 180 version of it. Then we're cooking. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys think it's going to be... I forgot how strong the stuff is, if it's really going to add that much strength. Or if it's not going to add much strength at all. I'm hoping it adds enough strength where I can pull it off the car and comfortably sand the flares. I don't know. Resin's such a bitch to sand too. Okay, bye. See you soon. I'm making chicken with that good tomato sauce. Hell yeah! Hear that, boys? I'm eating good tonight. I'm a lucky man. I'm the luckiest boy in the world. And don't worry, guys, I'll get better at this whole streaming thing. These streams should hopefully get more entertaining in the future. I figure, why not? If I'm in here working anyway, might as well make some content out of it, especially if I don't have to edit it. And I can just talk directly to you guys, which is a lot more fun. Yeah, the stream's already doing better than yesterday. I think maybe now would be a good time to wrap it up. Just gonna let this cure overnight. Or I guess it'll be curing for the next couple days. And maybe I'll copy what I did to this side on the other side. Probably not. Oh, Meatball 94. Alright, maybe I won't wrap it. Maybe I'll stay for another 10 minutes. How are you doing? Don't leave, I just got here. Who's Meatball 94? Guessing they were born in 1994, so they're not that much older than me. Can I come over? I don't know. Who are you? You know who, baby. Oh, gosh. I have no idea who this Meatball 94 guy is. But then I have to threaten to leave for people to start talking. Meatball 94. Who could you be? There's eight people in here, so I almost don't want to end the stream. I'll hang out for another 15 minutes. I don't know if I could. Yeah, I don't think I can use the tracking feature when I'm streaming. That'd be cool if I could, but I don't know if I can. Oh, I can! I could have been using this the whole time! Fuck! Are you serious? No way. No way. This whole time? Oh, guys, I'm gonna put my tools away here. Jeez. Well, that would have been nice. That would have been really nice. How many times I reposition the camera? I don't know. Maybe it loses me when I turn around. Is it still on me? It's still on me. Shit, man. This whole time I could have had that enabled. Well, now I know. I didn't think that feature was available when I'm streaming. That would have been much meat on the professional coming over a walk. Oh, I know who that is. It's Dan. Dan, where the hell did I put the cap to this? Dan, I'm only gonna be here for another 30 minutes. I'm gonna leave around 8 o'clock. My cookie's waiting for me. Dan, he helped me a couple times moving stuff around. Helped me move some of the heavy shit into the shop. I don't know, man. I'm not your mom. Dan, what the hell did I do to this thing today? Was the cap in the wrap? I actually lost the cap yesterday. I just haven't been able to find it yet. I probably did end up throwing it away on accident. So, I don't know if you saw it when I busted this out today. Just had a bunch of tape over the top of it. That's what I'll be doing today. Yeah, this stream was fun. A lot more fun than yesterday. It was me all by myself yesterday. There was a couple people that like tuned in but didn't say anything. And then my wife called me in the middle of it, so I talked to her for a while. And the only chat the whole day was just her calling me stinky. Oh, and here we got another person. Yo, Rex, I don't know. Nice, is that a nice yellow Civic in your profile picture? Very nice. What up, man? It's part of the cleanup time. It's like so maybe like 5 to 8. Yeah, maybe I'll just try to aim for 5 to 8 for the stream, starting at 5, go to about 8. And I'll just end the stream with a little bit of cleanup. How are you doing? I'm doing good. I just got done laying a layer of fiberglass on this thing. So we started the stream today with our previous chop strand fiberglass over fender on the car. I took it off, refined the edges with the cutter, and put it back on the car. Fitment still looks pretty damn good. Once I got it back on the car, I keyed it with 40 grit sandpaper. Then we mixed up another batch of resin, and I used a different type of fiberglass. I just used regular fiberglass matting. It's a little harder to work with, but it gives you a lot smoother finish in the end. So I applied that, had to cut it into a couple chunks. We're gonna let that cure. I did have an incident where it wanted to start coming off the car, so that's why you got the random pieces of tape there, just kind of holding it flush. Not the end of the world, it's still on there pretty damn tight. What I'll probably do in the next one I mentioned, so I'll get this thing off the car again, I'll sand it, I might even sand the backside. I'll cover the backside in resin, and cover the car in resin, and then I'll squish them together. And since I have that release agent tape on the car, I'll be able to just pull it right back off, and we should be good. It'll make more sense when I do it in person, but yeah, it didn't turn out too bad today. Got some of these off. But it's alright, because the plug for my mold, I'm going to want it to be a little bit thicker and stronger anyway, so I might even do a layer of chop strand resin on the inside. I'm not sure. Wouldn't be a bad idea to put another layer on the outside too. Or maybe I could just use, chop strand fiberglass. Maybe I could just use a little bit of body filler from here on out. Just a fiberglass reinforced body filler. Wouldn't be a bad idea. The internal resin, yeah, will act like a gel coat on the inside. Exactly. Exactly. Which will give me a nice, smooth, as well as form-fitting surface on the back side of my plug. So I think that's going to be a good move. It's just really just slather it on the inside and stick it right back on. I was just thinking if I wanted to add a little extra strength, maybe in between this and in between my over fender and the car, maybe just a couple sections of the chop strand, just for a little extra strength. So I want it to be a little thicker. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And the hardest part is making the plug. Once you make the plug, the mold's not too bad. Should be just fine. Got a bunch of, oh, I think it finally lost me. Hello? Right here. There we go. Get some this tape unraveled and use it. Pull the fiberglass out of my pants here. Got some in my knees. how long have you been watching the channel? Exclude, how do you pronounce that? And if you ever put some big old tires on your Civic, how likely are you to buy a kit from Crafting Cars? Oh yeah, I definitely got myself a little bit. I can feel some slivers for sure. I think over the weekend I'll release the K24 build video. That one's going to be like a good 30 minutes of just disassembling, upgrading, and reassembling the K24A motor I have over there. It should be pretty good. There's not going to be a lot of talking in that one. It'll just be something you can just watch and relax. I'm surprised you don't have a jumpsuit. Yeah, I need something, right? I was thinking about that, maybe like, well, I should be wearing something to protect myself from all these fiberglass strands. But it would be nice for me to have like a set of overalls or coveralls, like a branded set of coveralls or something for crafting cars. It'd be pretty cool. And it would look legit, you know? If I really wanted to sell the fact that I was a mechanic, it would help to have myself a little get-up. I'm more of a artist slash troubleshooter. I mean, I got mechanical experience, but it's not like I've been like working in a dealership or it's not like I've been, you know, working at like a small shop working on a whole bunch of different cars for the longest period of time. I've been working on CNC machines this whole time. Just in the past like couple weeks, I've been working on different cars, and of course, I've always helped with like family members' cars and stuff, but I think my specialty is more just the customization of cars, coming up with modifications for cars that are, you know, something different, something that maybe solves a problem. Yeah, like these over fenders. They make over fenders for S15, a bunch of different drift cars. Nobody really makes over fenders for the Civic. There's a couple guys overseas that are getting good at the 3D printing, turning that into a plug, then distributing fiberglass kits and stuff like that. But a lot of them, they don't fit right. They're made with pretty shitty materials, and once you get the kit, it's a whole nother world just trying to install them. I'm trying to make a product here that's easy to install for your average DIYer. Maybe even someone who's not even that good at DIY. Maybe someone who just wants to modify their car, wants to just stick on some over fenders, or, you know, a little bit of tape, 4 screws, a bit of like 3M trim mounting tape, a couple screws, and boom, you are wide body. Be good for drag racing and stuff. Meatball, if you or a family member have been affected by mesothelioma, you could be entitled to financial compensation. Man, I hope so. Man, I hope so. Oh, Ethan, thank you for placing an order. Say Ethan placed an order for some merch, so thank you very much. I got more merch coming. I got a new logo. Let me grab my business card. I'll show you guys. I gotta start packing up anyway. Leave those here. And my new business card. That's the new logo there. I was trying to look at my face. Crafty Cars, Custom Model Solutions. And that's the outline of the Civic there. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I do the shop work. Here we go. Custom for the cars at home. Yep. That's good, Sam. That's probably, if I kept working on these like side jobs, that's probably where I'd end up too. Just doing, I'd be a much better mechanic that way. That's for sure. Cause I've maybe worked on like maybe 30 different makes and models of cars tops in my entire life. Meanwhile, like dudes like Sam, they probably see that in a week. So still got a lot to learn. All these different cars. I just mainly specialize in the Hondas. I mean, a lot of it is transfers over, but these are my favorite to work on by far. Yeah, damn, been at it for 13 years. Sheesh. That's nuts. I think there's going to be some parts that are going to need a little bit more reinforcement than others. Like, maybe I could just do a quick reinforcement inside the flare. I don't know. But yeah, I think it would be a good idea just spend like 1 hour a day working on this. See where it goes. That way you guys can be here for all the ups and downs and none of the fun details get missed. So I'll probably just leave a lot of these forming tools over here. Looks like I gotta get myself some new mixing cups and some popsicle sticks. So I think I'll go to maybe Wells Auto Supply. Maybe I'll check on Amazon if I can find some mixing cups. Oh man, these guys have been so nice. It's a new type of jack stand I picked up. They work better with my floor. They got like 2 different safety backups, and they're just really solid. A good upgrade compared to my Harbor Freight jack stands I've been using. Go eat your chicken with the good sauce. Yeah, I think it's about time to wrap her up today, guys. Time to wrap her up. Oh, there's my resin die I was looking for. So we'll be back at this Monday. I'll start working on the other stuff in the meantime. I love you too, Dan. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'll see you guys on Monday. And I'll be able to do, Monday through Thursday next week. No problem. So I'll be there for you guys. Sometime this weekend, I'll be dropping a K24 rebuild video, so plan on working on that probably right away tomorrow. I'll work around my date that I have tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing yet, but we're going to do something. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm very, very new at this whole streaming thing, so thank you for your patience with me. It's going to get better from here on out, I promise. Any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. And yeah, this should be pretty cool. You guys are going to be able to say, hey man, I was there when the founder of that body kit brand started making those body kits in his shop. So, yeah. Pretty sweet. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited. You guys have a good night. Bye-bye. You're gonna have to turn the camera off. I'm turning the camera off. I was just allowing a little bit of time for people to say goodbye if they wanted to. Because it says there's 6 people in here. Oh, my hands are sweaty. Alright, I gotta order gloves and... yeah, a couple of other... gloves and material. Bye, Stinky. Alright, here, it's stinky in here. I'm not leaving it till you leave. I didn't know you were still here. Thanks for being such a good supporter all this time. So yeah, it seems like a pretty good window to stream. Just about 5 to 8 o'clock. So yeah, you can already see it's kind of, the surface is going out a little bit. This thing's getting dry already. It's starting to sweat a little bit even. Cool. Very cool. All right, guys. Definitely came back and saw you were still on. Yep, I'm about. No, you hang up first. That's what I say. I like it. I like doing these streams. It's a lot of fun. I remember I did my. You're talking again. When I did my birthday streams, which I should probably do one. Maybe I'll do one on the 19th because on the 20th I'm going on my honeymoon with my honey. But maybe before then. On the 19th, maybe I'll do another birthday stream. It might just be another shop stream. We'll just hang out in here. And it'll be a lot of fun. So, thank you guys once again for tuning in to Crafting Cars. Turn your notifications on so you know when I go live next. Tell your friends, please. That's going to be the biggest help for me, is just share it with somebody who's also into these cars. Just got to be a social media friend. It doesn't have to be, somebody you know in person. Yeah, maybe we'll do I'll get a projector. We'll watch Fast and Furious or something in here. That would be cool. I could have a birthday party at the shop. That'd be fun, huh? That'd be pretty fun. Where am I going on my honeymoon? We're going to Sedona, Arizona. We're just kind of going hiking and hanging around over there. We'll be trying to do it on the cheap. Because I don't have any money. But that's okay, because pretty soon we're going to be selling some really cool body kits. Alright, thank you guys once again for tuning in Crafted Cars. I will see you very soon. I'll see you guys on Monday. There'll be a video coming up this weekend. Alright, bye-bye. I mean it. No, you hang up first. Bye.